All right, I want to ask you guys an actual serious question here, just actual serious one. Would you guys ever be interested in viewing me and Shy possibly doing some paranormal investigating crap? Because I've been a skeptic about that shit for a long time. And even the experiences that I have had, I still question. I still am completely skeptical about it. To the fullest extent. Would you guys be interested in that type of thing? Alex says he'd love it. Okay. Yes. I only hum when I'm rocking. Yes. Okay. Question comes down to, would I have to go to a haunted location, right? Or would it be fun just to, if it has jump scares? If you guys are fucking live with me, it damn sure will. But I'm for it. The more skeptic vids, the better. You could be the Ghostbusters. Yeah, no. See, would it have to be like an actual paranormal location? Or could we attempt it here on the property? Because if I attempt it here on the property, I could actually probably keep a live going. There's not very... Well, there's some haunted locations. There's technically one down the road, but I don't really know if I want to be out there. They got fucking wolves. Coyotes and shit. If you say, I'm out of here. Hey, I hated the fact they called him, instead of ang. Like, why the hell would you want to throw your fucking, go get food on the property? Okay. I mean, we've had a lot of death here. That does not sound good to say out loud. Makes us sound like we're a little psycho, like we do nasty shit on the people here. I mean, we don't bury the bodies here; they just die here. That's just what happens. They don't get buried; they just die. Well, maybe we could try something there. The unfortunate thing about it is I know Shy wants to try one of those apps again because we have had actual names come through them that should have never, ever been heard. So, I'm afraid of demons, but I'm also afraid of rabies that say stay on your property. Well, we would try with an app for sure, even though everyone's debunked it, right? And I want to fucking try it myself, just because I have had 2 names come through that never should have came through, right? Somebody trying to poop. Oh, I got really red-faced. Wow. I think my face was the rest of my hair there for a moment. Whew, lightheaded. Don't do that. That was a bad idea. But I'd actually want to have like a proper recorder, try doing proper thing here. If you don't mind, what were the names? The names were my grandmother's actual name and my mother's actual name. And I'm not saying them out loud here because we just don't use their actual names. I can tell you that my grandmother was called Jerry and that my grandfather was called Pete, but that is not their names. And my mother's name no one uses ever, and rarely do people actually pronounce it correctly because of its spelling. So my first experience with the paranormal was when I saw a full-body ghost of an old man looking for something on top of the fridge. By the time I reached the person's house and entered, it disappeared. The debunkers don't have a full problem with the apps as long as you're not relying on it the entire time, if it makes sense, like Twin Paranormal. Yeah. I wouldn't be relying on the app. That's the thing. I just want to see if I can replicate getting those names again. That's my biggest thing. Is I want to see if I can replicate it. Because the one name that came through, which was my grandmother's name, came through and a sentence followed it, and we think the sentence said something about family. And at that point in time, my grandmother and I were really at odds because I was streaming, I was at home taking care of the kids, and she didn't appreciate that. And really didn't appreciate the fact that we asked her politely to call us before she'd visit. So, my grandmother and I were at odds basically up until the day that she passed away. She forgave me on her deathbed, but still. That's unfortunately what happened. Asked the owner, and they said that's my dad. He used to said that's where your dad used to put his medicine. Gotcha. Exactly, and aware they aren't reliable. Exactly. Like, I am aware that's not reliable. I want to see if I can replicate it. Because, as I stated, their names are not something we actually use in this house. And I've told you guys all this many times over. I only recently found out, like within the last week, what my Aunt Toots's actual name was. No one ever called her by her actual name. Everyone called her Toots. And she was Toots until she died. Even when she went into a nursing home, they all called her Toots. Because that's just what she preferred to be called. No one calls my grandfather, my step-grandfather by his actual name. His family doesn't. My grandmother don't. I don't. So it's just one of those things, we just never do it. I used one of those apps last year. It came out with The Bill. The Bill was my pops and my favorite show as a kid. The Bill? What the fuck is The Bill? I get it was a show, but what the hell was it? Like, what kind of a show was it? See, and like, it makes you wonder if you could possibly get that replicated. I uninstalled it and haven't used it since then. That's what we did. We uninstalled the app immediately after receiving the two names because it had an emotional thing for me. And it had kind of an emotional thing for Shy. Because when Shy met my grandfather, the very first time of meeting him, within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, he took his own life. And it sounded like him coming through this app, yelling my grandmother's actual full-blown name, which he would only do, from what my father told me, when he was mad at her, and he had to be boiling over pissed to ever say her actual name. British cop show, pretty sure British. Tim, hello, welcome in. The Bill, yeah, it's a British show. Okay. My pop passed away when I was 4. See, like, it could it be replicated, right? Is there something to the app? With how often it hits, I would say no. But if it's something that's not really a part of anything, right? And it says something, it makes you wonder, shit, could it be done again? I want to see if it can be done again. Do I trust the apps? Fuck no. Not in the slightest. No. I don't trust the apps. I don't trust many of the recorders. I don't trust I don't trust a lot of the video footage that you see. I don't trust any of it at all. Like, even long before I ever ran into Beardo or Side-Eye Guy and Mythos, I was questioning this stuff. I watched it for the entertainment value, and that was it. I never watched Twin Paranormal. I only found out about them because of Beardo, because of Mythos, because of Side-Eye Guy. I never knew who they were prior. Sam and Colby, never had a fucking clue until I watched Jake Hart. Never had a single clue that Cody and Satori were a thing. Never had a fucking clue. Jason Hawes, yeah, I watched Ghost Hunters. I watched Ghost Adventures. I've watched Paranormal Lockdown, Destination Truth, Paranormal State, Haunted. I watched a lot of those, but I didn't watch anything on YouTube because that just wasn't my thing. I want to stop by and say hi. I've been busy with diecast stuff. I have seen that you've been busy with some of that stuff. Oh, thank God I was right. Yes, you were right. Get yourself an old Polaroid camera. I'm not sure if I'd want that. Because if I took a picture and I saw my mother in it, I don't think I'd be okay. I do not think I would be okay. So, no, I will not do that. If I hear a voice, cool, fine. I don't want to see a picture. Kells is 90% sticky. Haven't watched that in years. Schoolhouse Rock, yeah. Like, the last time I saw my mother, right, she was in a hospital bed in a church-like hospital over in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That was the last time I saw her, and that was 22 years ago. I don't think I could take seeing an image of her. I only watched Nick and Ryan since I knew them from their main channel, but never heard of the main popular channels till Jordan started covering them. Yeah, I never heard of any of them. I was always watching the actual stuff on like TV, Sci-Fi Channel, Discovery Channel, History Channel, whatever, like Travel Channel and all that stuff. I never watched the YouTube stuff. I never heard about any of those guys until I was looking into equipment used in some of the shows and stuff like that, and that's how I found Beardo, and that's how I found Mythos, and that's where it started from. And then I heard about Cordy and Satori, looked into them, and that was the first time I ran into J-Cart. I've been pushed off the top bunk bed as a kid by something that wasn't there, and I've seen my little bro get pushed off his bed as well, a different house even. I remember you telling me that. I remember that. I would never take another picture again if that happened to me. Yeah, if I ever saw my mother, I would never take another photograph. Heard a weird voice before when I was a kid of a woman saying my name. I think it could have been my mom. I have encountered that. The only time I had it happen where I definitively thought it sounded like my mother's voice was when I was alone walking the streets of my town. Because I did that quite often when I was younger, just to clear my head. And every so often I would hear a female's voice say my first name, but because my mother had a traumatic brain injury when I was quite young, it came out very, how do I say this without being really, really mean sounding? It came out like it was someone challenged saying my name. Because when she had her accident, she couldn't speak properly afterwards, and she couldn't hear properly afterwards. And you know, like how it sounds when someone who's deaf tries to speak? That's kind of what it was like. And that's the only time I've thought that I heard my mother say my name, is when I would go for walks. Don't watch regular TV no more. I've been on YouTube for 2 years. Love the docs and the true crimes. I still watch regular TV. I have to get away from YouTube on occasion. My firstborn was born. The first 6 months, I would wake up at 3:30 every morning for no reason. Each time I would see a large figure standing over my son's cot. Never felt alarmed or anything. Never did that. Oh, well, I mean, I woke up a lot, but I didn't see anything. Oddly enough, my kids never really had much in the way of sleeping issues. They slept straight through the night within the first 3 months for the most part. My oldest might have been a little bit longer, but I can't remember my mom's voice. She passed away when I was 6 months old. Well, I mean, it's you just never know, right? Or if you just get inside your own head and it's that audio pareidolia, where you think you hear something but you really don't. It's hard to figure it out, and I want to be able to test these things so damn bad, and I've been so afraid to do it for so long. But I see so many people doing it now, I said, fuck it, I might as well look into it. And if you guys want the videos or whatever, maybe we could live stream or I'd just record it. It might be fun to do with other people who have actually done it before. Otherwise, I'm just going to sound like I'm sitting there talking to myself, which is what Side Eye Guy does, so I mean, maybe it's not so bad, but I eventually would fall back to sleep each time. By the 6th month, my son started talking around that time, and one morning I woke up around 3:30. He was awake this time, and I went to pick him up, and he said, Poppy. So at that point, I realized my pop was watching over him. Yeah, you see, that's like a personal experience that no one can take away. Unfortunately, it can't be replicated to prove that there's paranormal, which really sucks. That's the thing that gets me the most, is that everything you see, everything you hear, it's all primarily like personal experiences. And I know that's probably why so many people go to these paranormal locations, to replicate what's going on. But because so many people have faked it over the decades, it's hard to say what's like true and not, you know? I'm getting off here now. Good night, everyone. We'll be busy tomorrow and Thursday next week. I am taking some time off. 1st of September. All right, Tim, have a good one. Ghosts aren't real. I was hallucinating. What's going on, sub? I mean, they could be. They might not be. I have no fucking idea. Do I want to test it and see if I can hear my mom's voice one more time? Hear her name? Fuck yeah, I want to do it. I want to give her a good fucking shot. Am I terrified to do it? Fuck yeah, I'm fucking terrified. I will not take a picture in my grandpa's trailer because I'd probably throw my phone if I saw him. Like, yeah, like if someone took a photograph and you see a deceased one or a deceased loved one in it, it'll make you fucking question a shit ton. Like, but that's why I have a major word that if I ever ran into a medium, unless that medium tells me that word outright, saying, hey, I have a message from your mother, and the message was blank, I'd be like, damn, the afterlife exists, type of thing, you know? But if I've never encountered that, it's probably never going to happen. I'll probably never fully believe until that happens. I feel like they just want to be left alone, just want to be around their loved ones and not everyone's entertainment. Exactly. And that's probably what it is, too. Like, everyone that was doing the whole, speaking to Ozzy Osbourne within days of his death. Yeah, Ozzy's not going to fucking talk to some random piece of shit. Growing up, we had Shadow Man we saw walking down the hall from different rooms. I've heard that a lot. That's why I kept a fucking nightlight on for a long-ass time. Because I had dreams where shadows with red-ass eyes were crawling around the floors and pulling people that I knew and people that I saw down into the ground, and I ran for my fucking life. I still get that goddamn dream, and it pisses me off. Every time I stop and I try to let them, get to me, I just wake up. Mental health issues as it is and would probably push me over the edge. It's very possible. When I was a child, my brother's mom/dad and grandpa were having a picnic in the forest, and we saw a cave with bears wearing clothes. My brother and I still remember to this day, but mom says you're crazy. I mean, that might be a little crazy. I feel like there's also be some truth to paranormal experiences. Otherwise, I would be questioning a lot of people through our entire history. Like, because some people would say it so vividly, and when you were, go back in time when everything was completely auditorial, completely vocalized, just stories by word, you listened to your elders. You didn't question them on anything. And it's only over time that we're beginning to question things. And we still question science today. Like the coelacanth, right? That was rediscovered, 15 fucking years ago, and that was believed to be extinct for fucking thousands of years. And no, it's still in our oceans. We still question things. We got to question science. We have to question things to a point until they're proven accurate, And that's why we question the paranormal. We question the spiritual realm, because there's no way to prove its accuracy. We just go off of personal experiences and we gauge them as true because there's no way to disprove it. So if you can't disprove, you have to accept it as a proof, which kind of sucks. I'm the same. I would want to try to see if my parents come through. Yeah. I've seen people talk to people who aren't there right before my eyes, eyes open, locked on the corner, talking fluently in the corner. I have seen someone do that myself. They ended up being put into a ward and like having their head drilled into, and they lost one hemisphere of their brain. I am not lying. That is exactly what happened to them. Where they are now in life, I have no fucking idea, but it was really creepy to watch when I was a kid. Ghosts are real. They were my neighbors, lived next door to a graveyard. Do you have video evidence? Do you have recorders? Do you have something? Subs Shadowmen were chill. Nice. A Shadowman with a top hat has followed my sis and I from Oklahoma up to here and would have left bruises on us. All right. Beardo. Was it? Yeah, Beardo did a video just today during his live stream. If you go to Beardo, Beardo Gets Scared. His live stream was all about the Shadow Man and like the Hat Man, right? A shadow-like being that wears a fucking hat. And the hat technically changes, kind of, but like wherever you live in the world. Like it's an actual fucking phenomenon. So go look up Beardo Gets Scared to see that. Shit, that wasn't even on. Like, seriously, go do it. I might even throw the link somewhere. Let's see. We had a guard chase a Shadow Man at work. Multiple people have seen this Shadow Man. Valkyrie, unfortunately, the kitty had to get put down. She was too far gone for us to help, unfortunately, so we had her humanely euthanized, unfortunately. We tried rescuing her, but we couldn't. After my grandpa passed the door chime at my family's shop would go off every morning at the exact time he would come in. Fucking Christ, Sub. Why didn't you ever tell me that before, my guy? Although I don't think we ever talked about paranormal shit before. Sounds like the guy who appears in everyone's dream. That was the other thing they talked about is sleep paralysis towards the end of his stream or whatever. But your audio got unsynced about 2 minutes ago. Yeah, it happens. I have 14 frames missed out of this entire stream, so yeah, it's gonna happen. I didn't know you were into it, dog. I'm into fucking talking about just about anything. Here, I will hide my face behind the mic so you guys can't see my mouth move as much. Is this better? Okay, so it wasn't just me. No, it's not just you. Unfortunately, if I lose like any frames at all, it'll make things look really fucking weird. Colin Paranormal Files claims Hatman was his childhood paranormal experience that kicked off his paranormal path. Refresh the stream and it fixes itself most times. Oh, for other people, because I can't refresh my stream. Just want to let you know I appreciate that. While you're playing Pokemon Ruby. Okay. Not sure exactly how they mesh, but alright. Talk about the discovery of the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. We already had the math and stuff discussed earlier. I don't know either, just thought it was funny. Okay. I mean, you got Lavender Town, that's about it. Because ghost type Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, that's a connection. Or Neopets. I have not played Neopets in fucking ages. My buddy's sister got me into them. Let's see here. Yeah, Valkyrie, like, it seems to be like a worldwide phenomenon, the Hat Man. I know that Hart has mentioned the Hat Man on multiple occasions, and Beardo was doing his thing involving the Hat Man in his live stream today. That worked? Awesome. I'm glad it worked out, Albert. I have never seen a hat man per se, but I have had the dreams, which I've discussed on multiple occasions, where I'm at my family farm, which we no longer have ownership of. It's gone now. Maybe that's why the dream was fucking there, was telling me the fucking future. We lost the family farm. All the people that I've met in my life that I actually had a really close connection to were on that farm. And a cloud comes in my dream. It covers the entire property, and these black, creepy, crawly things. You can actually look them up. They're called the Creeper. It's Final Fantasy VIII creature called the Creeper. They're just a black, writhing fucking shadow with red eyes, and that's exactly what they look like in my dream from when I was very, very young. And they would grab the people and pull them down to the mist. And then everyone they pulled down became more of these fucking goddamn things. And I ran the mile down from our family farm towards the town, and I would always stop, turn around, and get hit with the mist, and they're about to grab me and everything, and I'd fucking wake up. And I can lucid dream. I can control my dreams if I realize I'm dreaming. And I never have gotten to see what happens when I'm actually touched by any of these shadow-like beings in my dreams. And I've had these dreams for almost 30 fucking years. And they will not go away.